My wife's movie club watched the 2002 Disney film Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet is an obvious retelling of the story of Treasure Island, with some major differences. The story continues to be remade and revisited over the years. One of the best adaptations is Muppets Treasure Island, and another, in my opinion, is this one, Treasure Planet. As I was watching, I was wondering what makes this story so enduring, so relatable, so engaging. The setting of this film is in a futuristic space, with solar-powered ships, space travel, portals, and laser guns. And yet, all of it with an 18th century look in the design of the homes, the clothes, the customs. This is intentional. Not only is the film made for teenagers and adolescents, it's being made to be applicable to anyone growing up in any time. So no matter what the advances we make in technology or other changes to our existence, our world, the human element will always remain. Generation after generation struggle with the same emotional, physical, and social challenges. They manifest differently. Different generations win and lose at different aspects, but the challenges and truth about us, our human nature and human development, stay the same. Jim's father abandoned him and his mother at an early age. Jim grows up without a father, and he struggles, as most boys do without a father. He gets in trouble. He seeks for outlets and expressions that society frowns on. You can see Jim does not want to be a burden to his mother, but time and time again he begins to see himself as a disappointment, a worthless person, with no ability to bridle himself for any meaningful future. Children benefit from a loving relationship with their father. Experience and research show they are more assertive, more confident, better with relationships, and tend to seek to improve themselves by work and education when they have a father in the same home. It is easy to see Jim as an annoying, selfish character at the beginning, and easy to think, grow up, be a man. And this is where the story gives Jim a treasure map, and all of a sudden Jim sees not the depression of his failed life, but a possible future and redemption for his family, and so he sets out on an adventure. The map embodies the means for physical and mental development. Jim is not looking for the unknown, he thinks he's looking for the hidden. The map is a call for adventure, a call for discovery, and it gives him an outlet for his boyish energy. So he sets out on the adventure in a structured environment which allows him to discipline himself with potentially great reward and the ability to turn things around. This adventure is not without danger, not without bad influence, and the harsh realities of life. But there are some barriers, some boundaries, and hard work to allow himself to work towards a goal. The rest of Treasure Planet is a story about a boy maturing by making hard decisions, showing personal integrity, overcoming feelings of inadequacy, and not getting the intended treasure or gold and jewels, but a treasure nevertheless. Another thing I noticed in Treasure Planet were the types of influences in Jim's life. While Jim's father is gone, there are other male influences in life. The first is Dr. Delbert Doppler. He's the dim-witted scientist / astronomer. He's smart in many ways and ignorant and naive in others. Children often determine their parents or adults don't have all the answers and dismiss their influence and misunderstand their efforts. And this can be due to failed expectations or conflicting desires or simply childish judgment, but children don't always see why it is sometimes good to be awkward or out of place. They don't always see why you should plan ahead, save for the future, or modify yourself based on your circumstances. And when you see yourself in contrast to society, the child often can feel he just doesn't fit in or that he doesn't want to fit in with an unpopular group. Doppler is a reminder that we all have our areas of expertise. He frequents the Benbow Inn and offers Jim's mother some advice, but to the police, to Jim's mother, he is not Jim's father, and he's not even allowed to act like that father figure. Captain Amelia and Mr. Arrow are the next characters. Now this is in the book Treasure Island. This is Captain Smollett's character. So after Doppler commissions a ship, the RLS Legacy, or the Hispaniola in the real book, Jim is placed under the hierarchical structure. He is given assignments, he's given structure and discipline. Jim and the boys in general have a real need for discipline and purpose in their development. Jim respects the position of the captain, and he works hard on the ship. Mr. Arrow is killed, and the blame is put on Jim. This is a devastating setback to Jim, who now has more evidence of his own failure and worthlessness. The cyborg John Silver represents cunning, greed, and unscrupulous men. Yet he also demonstrates a physical and emotional strength, change, and genuine concern for Jim. He starts by trying to work Jim to death, but after seeing him work hard and learning about his father, Silver changes. Ironically, Silver, while he's still the bad guy, the villain at this point, becomes the closest thing Jim has to a father, and their relationship is what makes this story work. Silver gives him sound advice.
You got the makings of greatness in you, but you gotta take the helm and chart your own course. Stick to it, no matter the squalls.
Silver is the one that tells Jim that he sees great things in him, and Jim is elevated in himself to think of himself as one with potential. Silver is changed for the better, and Jim learns some valuable lessons about people. You remember the scene where Silver has to make a decision between the treasure and Jim. At the beginning of the journey, you know it would have been easy to pick the treasure, but the adventure turned both Jim and John Silver into men, and Silver knows Jim is worth more than the treasure. And finally, there's Ben. Ben becomes a warning of isolationism and also a meekness in dealing with those that are a bit off. Treasure Planet and the original Treasure Island are timeless coming-of-age stories. To me, the story is about not giving up on wayward boys, how masculinity plays a positive role in building strong character. It also illustrates how it is through the struggle that we gain strength. And finally, it is a story about becoming a man and not just growing up to be an adult.
Getting in too deep here, Morphy.
Allow me to handle this.